Welcome to r/JustNoHOA, where people tell stories about their crazy homeowner associations. And without any further ado, let's dive right into the stories. Purely to make me feel better. This is a follow-up to the story from yesterday, where a guy was in the unfortunate situation of being in an HOA that chooses contractors without permits. Anyway, I'm the one who posted a few weeks ago about the ice dam that led to the mold, which led to everyone blaming each other. Here's an update and a what the hell do I do now? We had the mold officially tested by a well-respected doctor, botanist, who does expert witness testimony, as it appeared to be quite black and I was concerned. If it was grey/green/white, I would have just waited to test until after we mitigated. It is two subspecies of Stachybotrys, which is the crab that kills people. So yeah, I've got that going for me. On 3rd April, I alerted my HOA to the mold, and when we found out the species, I alerted them to the severity. To correct the most inside, the HOA needed to have a contractor find the source. Problem was, if you read my earlier post, the entire back exterior is the source. Flashings were missing, diverters missing, vapor barrier missing. We located black mold all over the outside of the unit on the gypsum drywall, but mostly thriving on the single board of wood we had as sheathing. And yes, they used gypsum drywall as sheathing. I know. Anywho, the wood was rotted through and they proceeded to take everything off down to the internal drywall. Insurance has been out 5 times. They've paid to remove most interior drywall and check for other issues, but they won't pay for mold mitigation. They will pay for ice dam damage, but not mold. Go figure. And then last week we had a blizzard, no joke, Minnesota is metal. And then we had hail and rain. The HOA lied, misspoke, forgot, claimed they did but did not, blamed each other about waterproofing, and so I had to get a lawyer involved so we would not have further damage. My house has been tarped for over 2 weeks, cannot see out of my windows, cannot have fresh air. My deck is ruined, they broke boards when they removed it, it is a colossal nightmare. The lawyer has sent 2 letters, one demanding they waterproof properly, as 2 hours before the blizzard started we had tarp flapping in the wind, and the second demanding they fix the house. So far the HOA is discussing it. You might remember that the city got involved because the HOA had been doing repairs without the proper permits, and the HOA, in their brilliance, has hired the same company who has been doing the construction/repairs. Yeah, I know. And the city demanded everything be removed and done to code. But they did not demand it was done in a timely manner. So the HOA is sitting on it and the house is tarped and I cannot do anything. Every mold mitigation company, 9 total, that we have had out has said, "This cannot be fixed until the outside is corrected." And if you remember correctly, there was also an issue on the front of the house in the downstairs bedroom, and that siding/exterior has not been removed. After my insurance got involved and the lawyer, the HOA only notified their insurance today. Unreal, right? We are basically being held hostage. We cannot sell because the interior repairs need to happen as insurance has paid for. The interior repairs cannot happen because the exterior is missing in back completely and under a tarp, letting in bugs and mice. We found poop by the windowsill. Until those repairs happen fully, mitigating mold will be useless. Also, we cannot walk away for fear of being sued. We cannot live here as mold counts are through the roof and it has already been identified as toxic. We cannot buy another home or rent somewhere else as we have to still pay the mortgage, and now I have legal fees. We are just in a standstill and I am just so tired. Cheer me up. Guys, I gotta say, OP is definitely in a terrible spot. What do you think? How could he get out of there? It seems the HOA and their contractors just messed up so badly, it almost seems like a lost cause. By the way, have you guys ever had to deal with mold in your apartment or house? Let us know in the comments. I sold the house. By the way, this is yet another follow-up to the story from before. If you have been following the saga, we had an ice dam that destroyed our home and flooded the basement. When I demanded the HOA remove exterior siding, we found the house was not near code, not even a little. Additionally, the rotted boards let in carpenter ants and some serious black mold on our firebreak wall. Association got scared and refused to do anything after removing exterior rot. Then opted to cover with tarps for a month while MN weather gave us a snowstorm and hail. After a few Hail Mary drinks and 2 weeks of utter hell, I signed a purchase agreement today, selling my home for more than I owe. Thank you, David Beckham, Jesus. Coincidentally, my lawyer and I received a letter this evening from the HOA's attorney offering to settle by finally fixing the outside of my home that was tarped for about a month, letting in snow/sleet and grime. No sheathing or exterior drywall. It was torn down to the inner drywall and studs. After losing all our furniture, kids' toys, having to pay for a dumpster to haul our items out and having to start over, we asked them to help pay for interior damage. So far, refusal. Either way, we are going to be fine. I walked the investment buyer through everything, shared all our insurance claim paperwork, and my lawyer is happy with the purchase agreement. And that is unfortunately the outcome I would have expected from the story. Sometimes you just cannot win against HOA incompetency. And by the way, if you have watched until here, please don't forget to post some star emojis in the comments and also like the video if you want to support me. Thank you very much. FHOA, my work vehicle got towed today. I am renting a condo that has those weird shared driveways, so if you cannot park in the garage, the street is the only option. My work truck is a 2019 Chevy Silverado 1500 crew cab with long bed. It has company logos on it. In the past 3 months I have gotten 2 little slips saying that my vehicle is not allowed to park there due to it being a commercial vehicle. I did not get any fines associated with these notices. I opened the bylaws and CCRs and read their terms. A family vehicle means any domestic or foreign car, station wagon, sport wagon, pickup truck of less than 1 ton capacity with camper shells not exceeding 7 feet in height measured from ground level, minivan, Jeep, sport utility vehicle, motorcycle and similar non-commercial and non-recreational vehicles that are used by a resident for family and domestic purposes which are used on a regular and recurring basis for basic transportation. Which any person who violates the parking restrictions set forth in this declaration shall be subject to a fine in a minimum amount of $25 for the second parking violation, and pursuant to which all subsequent parking violations by such person shall result in such person's vehicle being immobilized or towed at the owner's expense, and the imposition of a fine in a minimum amount of $90 for each such subsequent violation. So I sent them an email and voicemail stating that my truck is not registered as a 1-ton vehicle, not registered as a commercial vehicle, nor does it exceed the 7 feet height limit. I also explained that I have no other option, I simply cannot fit in the garage. I use this vehicle for personal use, I don't even have my own registered personal vehicle. I pay fringe benefits tax on it through the IRS. I'm not attempting to conduct business within the neighborhood. I did not hear anything back. This morning my truck was gone. Luckily, a few weeks ago I saw the ultra small sign about 2 feet tall in the roundabout with the name of the towing company. I called and found out I owe $230 to get my truck out of their lot. After this I did go and pay to get my truck out. I explained the situation to the director of my company and he told me to submit an expense report for the tow charges and to forward him all of the emails and communication I have had with the HOA. He's going to get our legal department involved. I am not sure if somewhere in there I can still be at fault, but I did not receive any sort of fine or penalty for parking. I really feel like they towed without proper channeling, but I guess we will find out. FHOAs. Has anyone ever towed your work vehicle? Let us know in the comments. And also let me know what is your favorite type of truck in case you drive one. And by the way, I know this is kind of random, but when I lived in Thailand, what really surprised me was that Thai people love to drive pretty much the same cars as Americans. Which means they loved huge trucks and big SUVs. But anyway, without rambling too much, let's continue to the next one. Outrage. World War II veteran fights to fly flag. When a retired veteran moved to Henrico, VA in June to be near his daughter, the 90-year-old Medal of Honor recipient never expected that he would be returning to battle. But that is exactly what happened when he erected a flagpole in his yard. The veteran's home is located in a community governed by a homeowners association, which claimed that the flagpole violated the association's rules. The group told the veteran to take it down or face litigation. But the veteran, who raised his flag for 34 years at his previous residence in Amelia County, VA, was not about to change his ways. "All my life, from childhood to now, I've been able to fly the American flag," he says. "In the time I have left, I plan to continue to fly the American flag." The Sussex Square Homeowners Association, and sorry if I butchered that name, insisted that the flag was not the issue. Rather, the flagpole violated the association's bylaws on aesthetics. So they gave him a deadline to remove the pole. As the veteran's story became public, however, an outcry ensued. Senior Mark Warner, DVA, stepped in to mediate as groups like the American Legion took up the veteran's cause. The dispute even came up at a White House press briefing at which Press Secretary Robert Gibbs called it silly that a neighborhood association would give a veteran grief about flying the flag. Under pressure, the neighborhood association backed off its threat of legal action, for the moment at least. And now the veteran continues his daily flag-raising tradition, relieved that there has been some resolution, according to his attorney John Honey. "It's more than just flying the American flag for him," Honey says. "It is the ceremonial aspect of waking up in the morning and putting the flag up, and taking it down each night and having it fly throughout the day." One interesting thing you can say about HOAs, they don't care about who you are, they simply bully everyone. President assaulted a registered service animal. "I am a landlord with a decent portfolio of properties. I have a tenant with a major disability who requires an actual service dog. The president illegally entered my home and I wish I was making this next part up. He put his fingers down the dog's throat and struck the dog to see how we would react. I have a restraining order against him and it has been told verbally and in writing he's not allowed on or in any of my properties without my written permission." Long story short, abusing a service animal is a good way to get charged with a felony, be investigated by the ADA and fair housing. He also was taken and booked into county jail. Too long didn't read, don't abuse a service animal. I don't even know what to say about this story. Abusing a service animal, or in general abusing animals, is definitely a special type of evil. Thought you all would enjoy this interaction with my HOA president. For context, this is in a gated community in South Florida. I bought my house in November 2018. Since then, 3 houses have foreclosed or have been closed, of which I have purchased 2 to turn into rentals. I am under construction, 100% above board, permits respectful of times, etc. Yet I get nothing but grief from my nearly double my age president, who continues to yell, "I'm the president, you need to show me respect." To which I tell him every time to go F himself. I put a giant American flag on all my rentals, HOA president is pissed. I read the CCRs and consulted with an attorney and nothing bats me from putting up flags. Here's the convo, me, AH asshead president. President: "When are those distracting flags coming down?" Me: "Never. There is nothing against them in the rules." President: "Wait for your fine." Mr. President, why do you hate America? Are you an idiot? Should someone call ICE? President: "F you, I love America." Me: "Then why do I have to take my America flag down?" 24 hours, take it down. 24 hours later, I got a fine and appealed it. The same conversation repeated, except this time in front of the entire board and a bunch of community members. I kept repeating, "President, why do you hate America?" My flags got to stay. Guys, what would you do if your HOA tried to take down your American flag? Let us know in the comments. Tank the dog that sent me to jail. Almost. This story was posted by user glowstick006 on our own subreddit. And obviously has nothing to do with HOAs, but it's still very interesting. So I am a little bit of an a-hole. Okay, a major a-hole when I want to be. I was at a bad point in my life and decided to get a dog. Well, I went to the local humane society to look at a pupper and did not like him. On my way out, I saw a dog in a cage in the lobby and asked about him. They told me he was unable to be adopted and has been returned twice and was now being sent to a kill shelter. By the way, I don't know about you guys, but I was not aware that there are kill shelters for dogs. That sounds kind of crazy. Anyway, I told this guy to get a leash and he hesitated with, "My boss said no one can walk him, outside staff." I looked at him and told him, "Fine." Took off my belt to use as a leash and started opening the cage. They handed me a leash before I had the cage half open. I took him out and after 5 minutes of perhaps the best example of obedience I've seen in a pound pup, I walk him in and start the paperwork. They gave me a discounted rate because I've never seen anyone be able to take that dog with such ease. So what? Wallet happy. Get him home and had 0 issues for 2 weeks. In that time I pushed some defensive training and he picked it up like nothing. Ran him to the vet and got him checked out, and that is where I found out he is an army brat. The chip was not removed or updated, so I emailed the original owner for a story. Unfortunately, it was a fairly sad one, so I had my dog and we had the best of times for about another 2 weeks. Just shy of a month and I see police lights outside. Cool, it's a ghetto type area, so no biggie. I saw the spotlight turn on my home, well F. Shotgun in hand, I opened the door, completely legal but stupid. Cop was on my porch, steps with his handgun drawn, my dog Tank was on heel, snarling, awaiting command. So I ask what the problem is with the shotgun pointed at the ground. He tells me my dog bit someone and needs to be put down. I raised my shotgun level with this police officer, 16 years on the force, and asked if he was sure. He obviously did not like the situation and we held our ground for what felt like hours, yelling commands at each other. At this point, I would assume sooner but cannot confirm, the neighborhood was well awake and other officers arrived. One guy came running up and told the cop he had the wrong house and obviously the wrong dog. The cop hesitated and looked at Tank, 110 pounds lab/pitbull mix, snarling, actually got some foam going, evil dog still awaiting command. Looks at me, never moving the handgun off my dog. "So it appears I might have the wrong house." I responded with something along the lines of, "No shit, Sherlock." He slowly yielded, I give him a lot of respect for this, and I did too. As I lowered the shotgun, Tank lowered to a seated position. Still smiling at the officer, as the party broke up, the officer ended up coming back to apologize to me for the confusion on his part. They wanted the other yellow house on the corner across from me and told me he hated that part of his job. He had been forced to shoot a few dogs but never saw an owner, dogs are property in Illinois, that was willing to kill for the dog. I ended up telling him all about the dog and about myself. Few days later, he called me to tell me he was stopping by. He got this dog some real beef bones from the butcher, sat on my porch with me and had a few beers and told me about him and himself. We became fairly good friends. Tank got to play with the police K9s and the offers learned a few tricks from him. It really blossomed into a great point in our lives. This was, wow, it's been 5 years going on 6 years ago, and since then Tank has made a few people hate him, made many more love him. I have got 2 kids, C, 5 years old, this event happened when his mom was around 6 months pregnant, and A, 1 year old. Tank is well adjusted and surprisingly the best dog I've had in my 27 years of constant dog ownership. Obligatory, I guess this is just one of the amazing things this dog has gotten me into. Sorry for the format and grammar, I'm typing this on mobile before work as I heard a ripe story in the shower on my YouTube shuffle. And side note, we just moved into an HOA and Tank has already made a new friend. I sure hope that new friend is the HOA president. Anyway, I gotta say, when you approached that police officer with a shotgun, you must have balls of steel or something, because I would have been scared to death in that situation. Anyway, let's move on to the next ripe story. Entitled Karen Gets Arrested, posted by user Diesel174 on our subreddit. I work for a chain convenience store company located in the Midwest and based in Virginia. I enjoy my job and have many regulars who stop in and a couple are regulars. Now normally there's only one person on shift unless the morning where the manager is there. This particular day it was just me. It was a busy day and I had a line of customers. The phone rings and I recognize the OHOA number and look out the window to see one of my wheelchair-bound veterans outside. I acknowledge that I see him and give him a 1-minute signal to let him know I will be out in a minute. I look at the line and where the last customer is to make a note of when I will help him. After I get done with that person, I kindly apologize and state that I have a wheelchair-bound customer that I need to assist first to the line of customers. Big fishing tournament in town as well as it being summer. They understand and have no problem with this, and 90% of our customers are regulars. As I am getting this customer's order, my other wheelchair veteran pulls up. I walk over and let him know that I will be out in a few minutes to pump his gas. This customer knows that I keep my word and states okay. I'm walking back to the store and hold the door for the customer walking in. We will call her Karen, even though I did not know this at this time. I made a note to help her after I helped the second vet as he was first. I go and get the items that my first veteran requested and ring them up and cash him out. I apologize once more and take the items to the customer. Upon entering the store, I am met with a rude response. Karen is yelling at me that I should not be assisting like that and he should come in. She does not know he is in a wheelchair. I state I'm sorry, but he was next in line and tell her why I did what I did. She continues to rant and says he should have someone come with him then. I ignore her and head to the register to ring up the customers who waited patiently, which was about 2 minutes max. I finally get done with the line as most just wanted cigarettes or to pay for their gas they have pumped. We are not a prepay location, even though corporate wants us to be. I finally get through the line and Karen, whom is complaining the whole time about the line, is the next customer. I start to tell her that I will be right back and I need to help the veteran next, but she gets in my face and demands to know why her card is not working at the pump. I ignore her comment and tell her I will be right with her after I help the veteran at the pump as he was next. She states that she's next and I need to help her first. I have already had enough of this lady and I did not want to say something that would get me in trouble. I let the customers in line know I will be right back. About 2 minutes later, I come back inside after I have pumped the gas for this veteran. The first thing that I hear is, "About effing time, took you long enough." This was the straw that broke the camel's back. I look at her and say, "Ma'am, I had 2 regular customers come in whom are both disabled veterans and wheelchair bound. We help them when they come in. Sometimes they come in when there are 2 people here and sometimes not. And almost never at the same time, nor usually the same day. Yes, I'm busy, but I helped them in order that they came. I have heard nothing but complaints from you. No other customer even said a word. In fact, I got praise from a few because I did that. Why do you feel that they should have to wait longer because you came in after them?" Karen states that she is in a hurry and needs to get to work and then pushes me with her hands towards the register and tells me, "Do your effing job and help me." Karen had met me at the door. I tell her that I am refusing service and she can go somewhere else. Karen demands I call the manager in and she wants to speak to him. I state that I will not and ask her to leave. This part is the best part. In line I see the sheriff whom is off duty. I tell Karen, "1 second," and I speak up so the sheriff can hear me. "Sheriff, would you step up here please?" The sheriff steps up and has seen the whole thing. Karen is white now. The sheriff asks me if I would like to press charges for battery as she physically put her hands on me, to which I stated I would. Karen tries to run away but is held up by the customers blocking the door. The sheriff calls for a deputy to respond. About 5 minutes later, Karen is crying as she is being put into handcuffs. She is charged for battery and public disturbance and banned from the location. Her husband had to leave work to come get the kid who was in the car and was not too happy at all. Thank you very much for posting the story, Mr. Diesel174. It's always good to end a video with a Karen getting defeated. Either way, in case you are not subscribed yet and enjoy my content, it would be very nice if you could subscribe to my channel so we can reach 15,000 subscribers soon. I hope you have a fantastic day and I see you again tomorrow.